Hello friends, welcome to video lecture on fluid mechanics. In today's session, we learn about laminar viscous flow. So these are the sub points for our discussion: Navier-Stokes equation of motion, laminar flow between parallel plates, that is plane Pauli flow. So let us discuss Navier-Stokes equation without proof. Before that, so already in topic dynamics of fluid, we have studied the equations of motion by considering Newton's second law of motion, that is Fx equals to max. So if we consider the other forces, that is gravity force, pressure force, force due to viscosity, force due to turbulence, force due to compressibility, and if I neglect the force due to compressibility, we can get the Reynolds equation of motion. If you neglect the force due to turbulence, we can get the Navier-Stokes equation. If you just neglect the viscous force, then you can get the Euler's equation of motion. Now see the Navier-Stokes equation for the incompressible fluid along x direction. So in this case, we can get this equation in this way: u into dabba u by dabba x plus v into dabba u by dabba y plus w into dabba u by dabba z plus dabba u by dabba t equals to fx minus 1 upon rho into dabba p by dabba x plus mu by rho into dabba square u by dabba x square plus dabba square u by dabba y square plus dabba square u by dabba z square. Now we can get that equation in y direction in this way. Now observe equation number this one and this equation. Now only this one u term is replaced by v here. Other things will remain as it is. Okay, so you can get this equation in this way: u into dabba v by dabba x plus v into dabba v by dabba y plus w into dabba v by dabba z plus dabba v by dabba t equals to fy minus 1 upon rho into dabba p by dabba y plus mu divided by rho into dabba square v by dabba x square plus dabba square v divided by dabba y square plus dabba square v by dabba z square. Now along y direction, okay, according to that this values will changes. Okay, now what's about this one equation? We can get in along the z direction in this way. Now only changes will occur here. Instead of this previously v and w, we can v and u, we can just replace that terms by w, and along the z direction we can change in body force in this way. Now just see the equation along the z direction. You can get that in this way: u into dabba w by dabba x plus v into dabba w by dabba y plus w into dabba w by dabba z plus dabba w by dabba t equals to fz minus 1 upon rho into dabba p by dabba z plus mu by rho into dabba square w by dabba x square plus dabba square w by dabba y square plus dabba square w by dabba z square. So where this one dabba x, dabba y, dabba z are the body forces per unit mass in x, y, z directions respectively. Now see the Navier-Stokes equation in cylindrical polar coordinate system. So in r direction, we can get this in this way: vr into dabba vr by dabba r plus v theta by r multiply by dabba vr divided by dabba theta minus v theta square by r plus vz into dabba vr by dabba z plus dabba vr by dabba t equals to fr minus 1 upon rho into dabba p by dabba r plus mu by rho into dabba square vr by dabba r square plus 1 upon r into dabba Vr by dabba r minus Vr by r square plus 1 upon r square into dabba square Vr by dabba theta square minus 2 divided by r square into dabba V theta by dabba theta plus dabba square Vr by dabba z square. In similar way, we can get that along the theta direction as well as along the z direction. In this way, we can get that equations. So let us start the application of Navier-Stokes equation to laminar flow. So this is the first case, laminar flow between two parallel plates when both plates are at rest, that is plane partially flow. Now this is nothing but velocity distribution. Okay, so this is nothing but the flow through parallel plate. Okay, so here is actually a fixed plate with us, here is the another fixed plate with us, and flow passing through this both the fixed plate. So here we can get that shear distribution. Now how we can get this pattern? Okay, this will clear to you in the coming part. So in this case, some of the assumptions are there. So first one, the fluid is incompressible, that is rho is constant. The flow is one dimensional, that is in x direction. Therefore, velocity along that x direction is not equals to 0, but along y and z direction must be 0, that is v equals to w equals to 0. For steady state flow, dabba u by dabba t must be equals to 0. The flow is independent at any variation in y direction. The body forces per unit mass are 0, that is fx equals to fy equals to fz equals to 0. Now from continued equation, we know this relation dabba u by dabba x plus dabba v by dabba y plus dabba w by dabba z equals to 0. Now in this case, as the value for v and this one, v and w is 0, so the meaning for this one, dabba v by dabba y plus this one dabba w by dabba z tends to 0, means the value for this one becomes 0. Therefore dabba u by dabba x is equals to 0. Now in this case, u is the function of this one y. That is why we are saying that u is the function of y, because here the velocity nearer with this plate is 0, and once actually that pass away from this one, then the value for that velocity is increased. Okay, so that's why the u is the function of y. That is in this case, dabba u by dabba y is not equals to 0, and dabba u by dabba z must be equals to 0. Okay, from Navier-Stokes equation in x direction, so already we have seen this one, this relation here. Already we have seen that equation along the x direction. Okay, so we can use the same equation here. Now see here, u into dabba u by dabba x plus v into dabba u by dabba y plus w into dabba u by dabba z plus dabba u by dabba t equals to fx minus 1 upon rho into dabba p by dabba x plus mu by rho into dabba square u by dabba x square plus dabba square u by dabba y square plus dabba square u by dabba y square. Now in this case, if we just say what's about this one, dabba u by dabba x, this tends to 0. Why? Because y, u is the function of y. Okay, so this becomes 0, this becomes 0, this becomes 0, and for the steady flow this also becomes 0. So what's about this one, the body force along that x direction is also becomes 0. Okay, now what's about this one, as u is the function of y, only this term will remains here, and these two terms. Okay, now applying these assumptions, so if you apply these assumptions here, means everything becomes here 0 towards the left side, and towards the right side this terms becomes 0. Okay, so after applying the assumptions, we have this relation with us, so this term becomes 0, this one 0, means see the remaining terms, 1 upon minus 1 upon rho into dabba p by dabba x plus mu by rho into this term will comes into picture, that is dabba square u by dabba y square. Now just here, if I take this term towards the one side and if I take this term towards the another side, then we can get this step in this way: mu by rho into dabba square u by dabba y square equals to 1 upon rho into dabba p by dabba x. So keep this term towards the left side, dabba square y by dabba square u by dabba square y square equals to this term. Here the rho get cancelled, so 1 upon mu into dabba p by dabba x will remain here. So if you integrate this term, so what we get here, if I take the integration of this one, I can get here dabba u by dabba y equals to dabba p by dabba x. This term becomes constant, and if I just put these things inside of the integration sign, then here we can get the y plus constant will comes into picture, that is c1. Again, if I take the integration of this term, then I can get the value for the u towards the left side. Now in this case, we can get here 1 upon mu into dabba p by dabba x. So what's about the integration of this y? We can get the y square by 2. Again the integration of this one, c1 into y plus another constant will comes into picture, that is c2. So where this c1 and c2 are the constant of integration. Now in the coming part, our aim is to get the value for that constant, that is c1 and c2. Once we get, we can again put that in the previous equation, and again we can get the clear value for this one u, or total value for that u. So for that, it is very important to use the boundary conditions. So what are the boundary conditions here? So at y equals to 0, now if you observe here, at the value for this one y is 0, means automatically the value for velocity is also 0, okay, because when that fluid comes in contact with that flat surface, the velocity of that fluid particles at this spot is 0, okay. So at the same time, if you just see here, y equals to 0, u equals to 0, okay. When we just consider these things, and c2 equals to 0, so if I substitute the value for here, u is 0, y is 0, means what we get here, we can get the c2 equals to 0, okay. Now if I consider the maximum value for that y, so what's about the maximum value for the y? So this is nothing but the vertical axis. So for that, the distance between the two plate with us b, so the maximum value for that y with us b, okay. So if I put the boundary condition as y equals to b and velocity, so if you just observe here, the velocity again here, when I consider the another plate, the velocity of that flow at this spot becomes 0. So we have to use these two boundary conditions, that is y equals to b and u equals to 0. Now again, if I substitute this values here, okay, then see what we get here. If I substitute the u as 0 and y as b by 2 here, okay, so what we get here, b square by 4, okay. Similarly here, then we can get this relation, 1 upon 2 mu multiply by dabba p by dabba x into b square plus c1 into b. So from this relation we can get the value for the c1. So c1 as minus 1 upon 2 mu into dabba p by dabba x into b. Substituting the values of c1 and c2 in equation number 1. Now observe this equation carefully, this one and this one. So these values with us, c1 and c2. Now substitute these values into this equation. So once we substitute the value for this one here, so we can get the velocity distribution, okay. So substituting the values of c1 and c2 in equation number 1, so here we can get the u equals to 1 upon mu into dabba p by dabba x into y square by 2 minus 1 upon 2 mu. So here this actually term is nothing but c1 into y, means here we just here the c1 into y, you have to just substitute the value of c1 here, okay, means 1 upon 2 mu into dabba p by dabba x into b. So this indicate the c1 multiplied by y plus 0, means this indicate the c2, okay. So from this one we can get the u as just here 1 upon 2 mu. If you observe this relation, 1 upon 2 mu into this one dabba p by dabba x. If I just do the minus sign here and just see the remaining part here. So what are the things will remain here? So by minus, we just here 2 mu already we have taken the common here. Okay, so dabba p by dabba x already we have taken here. So minus sign is taken common here. That's why this term becomes minus. Okay, so here we can get the velocity distribution, that is the value for the u as 1 upon 2 mu into minus dabba p by dabba x into by, this term by minus y square will comes into picture. So give equation number next for this one. Now this is nothing but the required velocity distribution. This equation indicates the required velocity distribution for maximum velocity. Now the value for the velocity with us. Now how you can get the value for the maximum velocity? For that, if you just observe here, for the velocity to be a maximum, if I differentiate this term with respect to y, so here if you just here the velocity along x direction is the function of this distance, okay, or function of the y. So that's why if you observe here, if you differentiate this relation with respect to y, so what we get here, du by dy equals to 0 for the maximum value. Okay, so differentiate this one left side, differentiate this term and just equate with the 0. Okay, so 1 upon 2 mu minus dabba p by dabba x. Okay, this term will remain as it is because this is the constant term and you have to just differentiate this term. Okay, so if you just see the derivative of the constant term is nothing but the 0. So what's about the derivative of this term? So derivative of this term is nothing but here b minus 2 into y will come into picture. So what's about the derivative of this one, y with respect to y? 1. Okay, so what's about the derivative of this term? So this must be actually goes towards the another side, or the derivative of this term, constant term, becomes 0. Okay, if we just take towards the another side. Okay, now if you just observe here, b minus 2y equals to 0 will comes into picture. Okay, so as this term is constant, this will remains as it is here. Okay, and if you take this term towards the another side, this becomes 0. Okay, so b minus 2y equals to 0. So what do we get here for the y equals to b by 2. Again, if I substitute the value of this one, y equals to b by 2 in equation number 2. So what do we get here? U equals to 1 upon 2 mu into minus dabba p by dabba x into, just replace this y by b by 2. So what do we get here? b square by 2 minus b square divided by 2 square, or we can get the 4 there. Okay, now if you just simplify this one, so what do we get here? So as already the square of this one available with us, so y is nothing but here y term with us b by 2. Just observe here b by 2 with us. Okay, now if you just observe here, so what we get here, we can get the maximum velocity in this way. So 1 upon 2 mu into minus dabba p by dabba x. So see in the bracket, so in bracket we can get that term in this way. Just observe this relation, and just substitute the values and just simplify it. So after simplification we can get this in this way, 1 upon 2 mu into dabba p by dabba x into b square divided by 4. Okay, so here the mistake, let us consider this one as b square. Okay, so b square by 2 minus b square by 4, we can get here b square by 4. So what's about the maximum value for the velocity? So we can get the maximum value for the velocity after simplification we can get in this way, minus 1 upon 8 mu into dabba p by dabba x into b square. So give equation number 3 for this one. So once we get the maximum velocity, we'll move towards the shear stress distribution. So we know this one, shear stress tau is nothing but mu into du by dy. Already this basic actually a relation we know. So what's about this du by dy? So this step already with us, du by dy, this step with us. Just pick up this step and just write this here. Okay. Now for again next simplification, just here observe this one carefully. So mu get cancelled. So 1 upon 2 into minus dabba p by dabba x into b minus 2y. So this term is written as it is. So at the wall of plate, for what's about the value for the y? 0. Okay. So if you observe this pattern here, so what's about the value for the velocity? What's about the value for the y nearer with the plate? We can get the 0. Okay. So if you observe this relation, at the wall of plate we can get the y equals to 0. So substitute the value for the y equals to 0 at this relation. So what do we get here? So T wall, so this indicate the value of the shear stress corresponding to the wall. So in this we can get that 1 upon 2, this term will remain as it is, minus dabba p by dabba x into, so what's about this one? This term becomes 0. So give equation next for this one. So at the midpoint of the plate, so what's about the value for the y? At the midpoint of the plate we can get the value for the y as half, means b by 2. Okay, so we can get that value as b by 2. Now observe this equation carefully. So once I put the value for this y as b by 2, so 2 get cancelled, b minus b means here we can get the 0. So what's about the shear stress value at the middle spot? So you can get that value as 0. Once I put the value for that b as here, sorry, y as b by 2, once again just here 2 get cancelled, b minus b means 0. So we can get the shear stress value at mid of the plate is 0. That's why shear stress distribution is shown like this one. At the midpoint of this one we can get the 0 value, and at the end point of this one we can get the maximum value for the shear stress. Okay, so that's why this pattern will comes in this way. Now we can get the average velocity in the next step, that is u bar. For that, consider a small element or at a distance y from the wall of the plate having thickness dy unit width. Okay, so discharge through small element, that is dq equals to u into dy, that is dq equals to u into dy. So what's about the total discharge? For that it is very important to see what are the boundary conditions available with us. Now boundary conditions means here we just observe this pattern. So what's about the maximum width of this one? So here we can get the b, start from 0 up to here. Okay, you can get that limit value 0 to b. Now if you just observe here, this total discharge is nothing but integration of u into dy in limit from 0 to b. Already the value for this one u, this u velocity distribution with us, just pick up that velocity distribution from this step, that is u equals to 1 upon 2 mu into minus dabba p by dabba x into by minus y square, and just substitute here. Okay, if I replace this u by this term. Now what's about this one? This both the terms are constant. Just take that constant terms outside of the integration sign. Okay, and by considering this limit 0 to b, just take the integration of this one. So what's about the integration of this term? So again this b is constant. What's about the integration of this one? Y square by 2 minus y cube by 3. Now just put the limit from 0 to b. Now this term will remain as it is. So what's about this one? If I put the value for y as b, so what do we get here? B cube divided by 2 minus, what's about the, again this one, y as b cube by 3. Okay, so minus, if I put the value for the y as 0, means that terms become 0. Okay, now we just see after simplification, so what we get here, just make the base common for this one. So while making the base common for this one, we can get the 3b square minus here 2b cube divided by 6, means we can get here b cube divided by 6. So 6 multiplied by 2, we can get the 12. Now just see the simplified step here. So q equals to 1 upon 12 mu multiplied by minus dabba p by dabba x into b cube. If u bar is the average velocity, then u bar equals to q divided by area equals to q divided by b multiplied by this one 1. So unit, actually we are consider the length for that element, that's why b multiplied by 1 will comes into picture. Okay, so what's about this q? Q already this term with us, 1 upon 12 mu minus dabba p by dabba x multiplied by b cube divided by b will comes into picture. So area nothing but here b multiplied by 1. So here b cube with us, so b cube minus 1 means here b square. So in this way I can get the average velocity, that is u bar equals to 1 upon 12 mu into minus dabba p by dabba x into b square. Give equation number next for this one. Now if you take the ratio of this average velocity and maximum velocity, so we can get that in this way 2 by 3. Okay, so we know this relation for u bar, we know the relation for this one after simplification and cancelling the terms. So what we get here, we can get the 8 divided by 12, so you can get the 2 by 3. So u bar divided by u max equals to 2 by 3. Give equation number next for this one. Now in the next step, our aim is to get the value for the drop of pressure head for a given length. Now from equation number 5, so this is the equation number 5 with us, already the value for the u bar with us. Okay, now from this relation we can get the value for the pressure drop. Okay, so dabba p by dabba x, if you observe once again this equation, dabba p by dabba x. Okay, so if I take these terms to the another side, we can get that relation for the dabba p by dabba x. So we can get the minus 12 mu u bar divided by b square. Now integrating this equation with respect to x, we get, so for that if you just here this portion we are considered. Okay, so if you just here section number 1 we are considered corresponding to this point, and section number 2 is here corresponding to point number 2. Okay, so the length for that portion we are considered as L. So with respect to this point, this distance we are considered as x1, and this distance, entire distance, we are considered as x2. Okay, now just give the limits for this one. So from 2 to 1. Okay, this is the limit we are given. Now we have to integrate this one so that we can get the pressure drop value. Okay, so dabba p we can just keep towards the left side, and if you just take this one dabba x towards the another side, then while integrating this one, instead of saying dabba we can just say the dp. So here from 2 to 1, integration from 2 to 1 dp equals to integration from 2 to 1 1 to 2, sorry, minus this term actually remains as it is, minus 12 mu into u bar by b square. Okay, dx. Now what's about this one, dabba p? Integration of this one is nothing but the p. If I again put the limit, then we can get the p1 minus p2 equals to, this term will remain as it is. Okay, so this is nothing but the dx. Okay, so integration of this one is nothing but the x. If I again put the limits, then we can get the x1 minus x2. So So in this way, you can get that relation. Now see the pressure drop P1 minus P2 equals to 12 mu u bar divided by b square. So what's about this x2 minus x1? x2 minus x1 is nothing but the L. Okay. If HF is the drop of pressure head, then HF equals to P1 minus P2 divided by rho g equals to 12 mu u bar L divided by rho g into b square. Only the rho g will comes into picture if I consider this HF is the drop of pressure head. Then we can get this relation in this way. Thank you. Hope this derivation and equations of motion in case of Navier-Stokes equation, that 2 points clear to you. Thank you.